decided he was not going back there.
This mother took her son out of school when she learned how he was being treated there. Now, the State Board of Education is taking emergency action to prevent cases like his. Good evening, I'm Paul CICCHINI.
And I'm Jessica KUNZ. An investigation into the misuse of isolated quiet rooms to punish students was published by the Chicago Tribune and ProPublica. A day later, the State Board of Education filed emergency rules to ban these seclusion practices and create stricter rules for schools. WCIA3's Jennifer Jensen is in our newsroom tonight. Jennifer, this report lists schools in central Illinois doing this.
Jessica, the investigation showed numerous reports of seclusion incidents and isolated timeouts for districts, including Urbana, Mattoon, Kansas, and more. Today, I talked to a mother in Danville who says her son was traumatized by what happened when he was repeatedly placed in an isolation room at a special education school. Throughout schools in Illinois, kids who misbehave are being placed in isolated rooms. Decades-old state law requires school employees constantly monitor those children and be able to see inside the rooms. But a recent statewide investigation revealed ongoing misuse of this practice that's traumatized kids like DARLA KNIPE's son.
The person who is supposed to be watching him was standing outside the door, not watching him. So I go and I asked her, I said, what is that noise? Oh, I don't know what that is. And that's when he started banging his head.
When KNIPE came to pick up her son Isaiah from school, he was hitting his head against the wall of the timeout room. Since then, she became concerned about possible head injuries. The 10-year-old has behavioral problems and sensory issues, so he attended Middle Fork School, run by the Vermilion Association for Special Education Co-op. During his 4 years there, a stack of more than 212 behavioral incident reports accumulated as he continued to be placed in an isolation room.
If he's done something, say kick over a desk, chances are he was put in a timeout room.
Schools are required by law to file a detailed report of what happened for each seclusion incident. But KNIPE says she never knew these existed until the Chicago Tribune reporter brought copies of them to her attention.
Not one of these in over 212, they never mailed me anything like this. Parents need to know this stuff. They need to know that what happened, what triggered them, and that's the problem.
Another time, Isaiah was hurt while being restrained during isolation at school.
He had this rug burn on his cheek. He has got a swollen and bruised under his eye.
But KNIPE noticed a discrepancy in the report.
It's not in the report. They said he bumped his head. There's nothing about him getting hurt, not one thing. I involved DCFS, and it's been almost 6 months, and nothing has been done.
It's because of cases like this that the State Board of Education is banning the use of isolation rooms. School administration will also be required to submit data to ISBE in all cases of physical restraint or timeout since 2017 and into the future. KNIPE pulled Isaiah out of Middle Fork School earlier this year. When I called their main office today, the administration refused to comment on these past incidents or on future compliance with ISBE's new rules. Urbana School District records in 2017 and 2018 documented 99 isolated timeouts. That district did not respond either to my multiple phone calls and emails requesting a response. In the newsroom, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA3, your local news leader.
Jennifer, thank you for that report. After finding out about all of this, Governor Pritzker condemned the use of quiet rooms to isolate students in secluded areas. Listen to what he had to say this morning about it.
That story and what's happened according to that story are appalling. That is unacceptable. That is something that, upon reading it, my entire governor's office and our administration began to move against that.
The governor's office has also filed a complaint to expedite all existing investigations into the use of isolated seclusion in Illinois schools.